Hi everyone, Ms. Kilroy here. Today we're going to be talking about what we're going to be doing in the computer lab, and it is the last steps of our science fair project, so great job. So to get started, I just want to talk about some due dates. So these 3 bullet points are our final due dates for our science fair projects. The closest one coming up is next week. This is when we will be presenting our whole project to our class. So this will be taking place next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You need to come up, give a speech and a slideshow presentation of your project. If you go on Monday, I will be offering extra credit to those who are prepared and ready to go. Also, coming up after that, your whole trifold display board, which is this right here, and your final written report will be due next Thursday at 8 a.m. in the multi-purpose room. They cannot be turned in late. This is the absolute latest deadline. You bring in everything and you are all finalized, all set. The following Monday, that's when we're having our science fair open house and awards. So you come in, you need to stay for about 30 minutes, you need to stand by your board, explain your project to other people's. You can walk around, show your project to your family members, your friends, see other projects, that sort of thing. Okay, so those are the deadlines. Now I want to talk about what you should be working on first day, which is your slideshow presentation. So if you look down here, so your class presentation has 2 components. You have a digital component that you have to complete and a speaking component. So digitally, you need to make a slideshow presentation, not in PowerPoint on the computer, on the desktop, but you need to go into Gmail and click on the presentation section. So if I go to my Gmail, go to Drive, and I'm going to click on Create Presentation. Okay, so choose one of these themes that you like. Really don't focus on the coloring and the font and the sizing. You really just want to get the information down, and so it's simple, easy to read, and people aren't overwhelmed from all the graphics and the animations and that sort of thing. Your focus is on content. Okay, so your presentation needs to be 4 slides long. Here is the outline. Slide 1, just your project title and your name, very simple. You can have a picture on there if you want, if you're doing the project, something involved in your project, that's fine. Slide number 2, write in your hypothesis and a brief summary of your methods. What did you do exactly? What did you think was going to happen? Okay, so these are bullet points. Slide number 3, you need to put up your graph on the screen on your slideshow that shows the results of your project. It answers your question if people look at the graph. And you need to have a 1-sentence conclusion statement. So was your hypothesis accepted or rejected? And then when you're presenting, you can discuss and explain to people and prove how that graph answers your question and either accepts or rejects your hypothesis. Slide number 4 is discussion slide. You need to answer at least 2 of the following questions. You don't need to answer all of them. Oh, made a happy face. So what do your results mean? What else should we know about your project? What would you have done differently? Why would you have done that differently? Are there any other important applications in the real world of your results? So you can go ahead and work on that today. You will also have a speaking component when you're presenting. So you have to be prepared to talk for 2 to 4 minutes, no more or less time. You have to make a note card to read from. I don't want anybody reading from a big piece of paper. It's very distracting. Your main focus is to get that information across to the audience. So you need to have focus on your eye contact, your clear speech, your loudness. So you need to be prepared and know what you're going to say, but you can have a note card there to help you. Big thing that we've been talking about a lot in our science projects is supporting our claims with evidence. Okay, I was really driving that hard when I was writing comments in your guys' discussion. You need to support your claims with evidence from your data and evidence from the research you did. So make sure that you back up your claims with evidence. For example, refer to your graph while it is on the screen and help the audience interpret the graph. Compare your results using relative statements or percent. Example, 1.3 times taller, 20% higher. It's okay to claim that your results are inconclusive. Just make sure you back that up with evidence. Okay? So what should you work on today? You have the slideshow presentation. That is going to be first on your to-do list. Okay, the second thing you can work on, you can print out necessary items for your display board. Okay, all of you are making a trifold board and the instructions are up here. It needs to look like this. It also has to be in these exact sections. Abstract, intro, procedure, it's actually the method section. Titles in the center, your name, the results and the graph and pictures are over here. Discussion and then a reference section. Next Thursday, when you bring in your completed display board, you're also bringing in a completed lab notebook and an artifact from your project. So a visual, hands-on thing that the audience can see that related to your project. So when you are creating this board, make sure you go on to EDU, click on Resources, Science Projects, and then the same one that I've been referring to, the County Fair Student Handbook. Click on here, and it's going to give you all the information you need for making an appealing and effective display board. So I'm going to page 9. Okay, here's all the details. I shortened it down and I just put down the most important things on here to give you guys an idea, but I would refer back to that guidelines. Make sure you're using a simple font, okay, nothing that's hard to read, nothing too fancy, keep it simple. Use size 32 for headings. Headings are things like discussion, reference, abstract, okay? Use more than 150 point font for the title, and then size 16, 18 for the rest of the text. You want to make sure everything is visible from about 3 feet away from the board. Also, be sure to use only 1 to 2 colors in addition to the black and white. You don't want to distract the audience with too much colors going on. You want it to just accent it, you know, highlight the text on the page by adding color. And then these are the sections you need to have headings for. Okay, so you can print out the items you need for your display board. The third step you can work on your final draft written report. Okay, some of you are at different stages. Some people were missing sections. You have a lot to add. Other people, you only have minor corrections to make. So really look at the suggestions I gave you, and you can work on that final draft. The final draft is not due until you turn in your display board, so the next Thursday. If you're all done with everything, the very, very, very last thing that you could do today is a speech. I predict that maybe one person would be working on the speech today. That means they've finished all of these items, but I feel like it's highly unlikely. Let's see if I got everything. So you're starting with your presentation under your Google Drive account. Okay, so go ahead and get started. Good luck with everything.